Alright, welcome to another video, and this time is to see how can we deploy our Nuxt application using the chat completion feature from OpenAI, which is from Nuxt.js here, and particularly looking at the Nuxt 3 for that. All right, and here we're going to see is how can we deploy our application, but we can rely on Vercel because the entire process is zero configuration using Nuxt 3. So let's jump in here into the code. Okay, into the code here. Okay, so first let me know how to handle errors here. Okay, and then we're going to deploy our application. So if I look at, for example, here the code base, in this case is the git. Let me look at the OpenAI guidelines. So let me switch back to the Firefox here. Right, good. And from here you're gonna see is especially also you can pass some function here. Interesting. And completion API like this, token log probabilities. Okay, but from the quick start here, now I will be able to see the come on, where is the repo? Okay, and see how it handles the error. So from the API generate. Okay, so the way it handled error is by using a try and catch statement. This is also to perform this async operation. Okay, and let's going to do this. Let's going to actually perform this try and catch statement here, and these are the two type of response. Okay, that's good. So in here, if I now go back to the code, so let me define here is the try and catch statement. Okay, where here where here I'm going to use a try and catch statement. That's right, where on the try block, okay, this is where I'm going to perform this async operation. Okay, I'm going to wait for this. All right, we can return this for that. Okay, and if there any error here, so the, how do you call this, the guidelines here from the OpenAI quick starter, it's something like this. So they say, hey, if you receive an error.response, okay, so you should now return this. You should now return is this. Is error status with error.data. Okay, allegedly from there. So let me use SD template syntax string with a $sign as well as the curly brackets and pass all of this data. Okay, then paste all of this data here, which is good. So we're going to return this. However, if there are any error like this, so I'm just going to return is this error, right? Error OpenAI request with this. This is what I'm going to return. So here now we're handling is this error. So here now I'm handling is this error, or handling doing the error handling here. Okay, which is important here, doing the error handling here. So this will be here as well as this. Okay, so with that, if I run now the server using the performance npm run dev command, it will underneath the hood use Nitro, this server engine will run up and bootstrap our dev server. That's right. So local 3000 here, and then I navigate to this, and then I do things like this. Okay, and there you got it. So if I pass the proper API key, okay, an API key that I have for this kind of test, open recent Nuxt 3 OpenAI common test if OpenAI summarizing. In this case is the OpenAI summarizing, and here we got is the OpenAI key. Okay, going to some lorem ipsum content. Okay, so yes, lorem ipsum generator. Alright, so you can copy this and paste that over here and say, hey, I would like you to add names recognized followed by a comma. So here is Vanian, then Duis, right? It throw an error, that's right, that will contain is this error.message. Okay, so in our case is error.status, but this error, okay, this error response.status, where here in the response, again this is the error, which contains the message. Okay, now here is the message for that. Is the message. Okay, so if I rerun this again, and then copy and paste this key, and you say, hey, would like you to recognize is this, do this, and send. Okay, and we got is this as undefined. Okay, so I'm receiving is this error dot the response dot status and error dot response dot error dot message, things like that. Dot message. Okay. So now okay, so let me copy this and as well as the key. So paste this here as well as the dois and excerpt for that. But now it's not able to error.response.error is undefined. Okay, so tell me, my friend, is what is the error? Or in this case is error message. Is only that. Is error message. Right? So allegedly, this is the object that is returning error.message. Okay. Me paste this content here and something like this. Request failed with status code 429. Okay. But it now says you exceed the current quota. Please check your plan and billing details. So request failed with status code. Okay. But because I want to access to the error object, meaning is the error.error message, right? So in theory, this is supposed to work. So we need to provide is a proper API key, as well as the content. That's right, I didn't pay that. Recognize is this. So we're receiving this error and message. Okay. So from these objects, meaning is we're receiving is from the error. Okay. From the error we're receiving is this. Error message. Right, so we are receiving is that. Okay. Some content here. Recognizes this name. And it's not able now to return that. It's like, error.response.error is undefined. Error.response.error is undefined. Because it's a message and the status. Allegedly. So, because here I just want us to pass this as well as this kind of content, and then this. Undefined failed request with status 429. Interesting, but exactly error status no, but the name yes. And it is funny because after all, request failed with status code. This is a type error, right? So if there is any response, okay, so if the response exists, this must be then be something like this. Okay, because now I want to access to this object here. Okay, and exactly. However, it comes on the data. That's what happened. Error.response.data. Data dot error.response, which is the status. Error.response.status dot error dot message dot error dot message. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. All right. Which is this dot error dot message. Dot error dot message. Exactly. Okay. So again, now that we're handling errors here properly, okay, and we say, you know what, excerpt, exactly. Okay. So now this actually works. That indicate and return a text like this. Identify names if no name was identified, okay, if no name was identified, return a text like this. Return a text like this. No name no names identified. All right, and then you know what? So that'll be all for this. Okay. Well, now the whole point of this is to see that we can create our own. Let me, for example, here to obfuscate that or make things like this. Okay, and here let's going to obfuscate that text. All right. This obfuscated text. So let me now save this as a PNG. And now it is time to upload that image here, where let me rename this. What the fuck it is? If I want to rename this, okay, demo. Okay, now if I go back to the code here, where in here I'm going to do this. That's right. So this is our image we're going to import here from the README. The name of this will be a common open AI test with Nuxt 3 or using Nuxt 3. Okay, look at the Nuxt 3 documentation for this. And let me now import the image, which is now located in here on on assets, and then on the okay. So here, this kind of image will be inside of the image folder. Okay, inside of the image folder. Okay, and which is image and demo image. So here you're supposed to load that image like that. Come on, OpenAI task using Nuxt 3. You can say to do. So inferring. With things like this on inferring. Green check. So inferring, and to do is our construction is transforming and then translating, and then yes, the same but for expanding. Okay, but let me add this as a list. Like this, to do inferring, okay, inferring, transforming, and expanding, and ultimately now let me is go to the deployment. So you're gonna deploy this code to, so using Nuxt. Okay, now switch back to the browser here, and on the deploy section, which is here on the deploy section. So on the deploy section, no, on the deploy section, deployment, I'm going to is host on do the static hosting, because after all you have two statics. You have two ways to deploy your application, your Nuxt application, to any static hosting. You can do this the static site generation with server-side rendering true, which pre-renders every route of your application at build time. And this is the behavior, this is the default behavior when running Nuxt generate, but this pre-rendered routes of your application at build time. It would also generate the 200 and the 404. Okay. You might need to configure this on your static host. It's going to depend. The other is alternative. You can pre-render your site with as a single page, static single page application. So this will produce HTML page with an empty div Nuxt, where your view app will normally be rendered. So you will lose many of the benefits of pre-rendering your site. So it's suggested instead to use client only to wrap the portion of your site that cannot be server rendering, if any. So because in our case The only thing that we want is to deploy this statically. Okay. Crawl-based pre-rendering. Use the Nuxt generate command to build your application. For every page Nuxt, use a crawler to generate a corresponding HTML payload file. The build file will be generated in the output public directory. So you can pass is the crawl links for that, which is a Nitro configuration. So let me take a look at what will happen if I do this. This is because I want to access to the Nitro, okay, and then pre-render that. So you can enable crawl-based pre-rendering when using Nuxt build in the Nuxt config, okay. So if I use this Nuxt generate in my console here, so if I switch back to the console here, no, I'm not able to see that. What about now? Here, that's right. Now I should be able to look at the output, okay, and the public, which is generate all of this route, and the server, which of course there is nothing like that. In fact, it say, hey, you know what, serve whatever content are on the public, which is part of the preset that hosting vendors like, yeah, which hosting vendors like, yeah, which hosting vendors like Vercel will automatically detect the preset from this, and then it will download all the necessary code to set the environment using Nitro. And here we got, right? We have our pre-rendered like that. So it actually generates this ID Nuxt as a single page application. Okay. So if I run this command, Nuxt generate, so it commands to pre-render every route of your application and store the result in a plain HTML file that can be deployed on any static hosting. The command triggered the Nuxt build command with the pre-render argument set to true. That's right. Awesome. Awesome. And also you can do is this Nuxt preview. The preview command starts thus a server to preview your Nuxt application before running the build command. Awesome. Awesome. So this is Nuxt generate, right? And then I look at Nuxt build. And the dependency are ready for production. Okay. So if I want to configure that on Vercel, okay, which is check out the Nitro deployment here using the zero config providers like Vercel, for example. Okay, and the only thing that we need to do is to push our codes and import the project, the Vercel project. Okay, so okay, so Vercel already detect that. So before that, I would like to push the code here. First, let me add all of this files here, okay, as well as the git ignore, git add the git ignore npm rc, the assets, and things like that. Okay. So git status. We already have all of this as well as the image. Let me commit this change. Git commit -m. Uh, Yeah, git commit -m of error handling and update readme.md. Okay, git commit -m error handling and update readme.md. And ultimately you push the change for that. Git push origin main. That's right. So now if I switch back to the Vercel, and then I tell this, hey, I would like you to now import is another. I would like you to import is another. No, wait, what the heck? Another. The hell is this? Okay, I would like you to, in this case, is the Nuxt 3 OpenAI common task, like this. Alright, so here we got it. So I import this, and here I'm going to tell, hey, I just want this to npm Nuxt generate only. Okay, and ultimately this, that's right, and perform this command. The environment variable, we don't have any, and let's go to deploy our code, right? So here what I'm doing is just cloning the repo, setting the necessary dependency. In this case is running the Vercel build with all of the necessary package to run that container or virtual machine. And then now it's installing all the necessary dependencies for our Node.js application, and then we got it. So if I now navigate to my repo, which is this, all right, now we can automatically see this for that. So this is the inferring. Common OpenAI task using Nuxt 3, inferring, transforming, and expanding for that. Okay, okay, that's good. That's good. Totally. So, so if I navigate to this, I'm able to see this inferring information extraction. For example, identify names, add your OpenAI API key, add your text samples, add names you recognize following by comma, and voila, right? Okay, so with that, that'll be all for this video. Take care. Bye bye.